Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. This video is going to be one of those that is so simple, that is so, you've seen a million times before. Geez, I'm not doing a very good job of selling why you should hang in there and watch it though. I have been really busy. And sometimes, like if you've been watching my channel for any time, any length of time at all, you know that one of the things I love to do most is collage. And masterboards is just a good excuse for doing some collage. And sometimes that's all a person can really manage to do. Now, I have been trying to get a bit organized here in my space. And one of the things that I've been trying to be a little more brutal about is the book blocks that I have been saving, text blocks that I've been saving. So I had some Reader's Digest, and as you know, they have kind of interesting illustrations. So I just went through this particular book and took out everything that I thought was going to be kind of useful to me. I also, let's hope I can remember what this is called. Is it Uncle? Oh, these are vintage books that were geared towards children. The Children's Hour with Uncle Arthur. So I probably don't have the page with the year on it, but I also removed all the pages that have illustrations and sort of sorted them into subgroups. Not sure why I got astray on all this, but this was a book with some Hollywood personalities from the 30s. So I basically sort of tore them out, thinking that I need to do something with them. There were, all of these are religious and have a, you know, pictures of Jesus and so on. Now, I, again, just sorted them. And then this whole bunch has images of kids. Really charming, you know, the innocence of these children. Anyway, so I thought, well, okay, this system is somewhat neater and takes up less space than the books themselves. However, I should use some of them. And if you know anything about the Reader's Digest books, they have a lot of men in them, and they have a lot of men doing, you know, things like war and fighting and, you know, maybe not exactly the stuff that we necessarily want to focus on and feature in our journals. But there were a number of neutral type men. And I thought, well, you know, Father's Day is coming. I don't know that I would ever do a masculine journal, but what if the spirit moves me? I kind of got rid of the images that would have identified these men as American, because, you know, it's universal. Men are universal. So I have all of these left. There's this little housewife too. And this is sort of the typical type of, you know, danger, jumping out of an airplane or helicopter or whatever. So those aren't particularly useful. But let me show you what I did yesterday. I love the look of this. Now, you know, in the Reader's Digest books, they always have these headshots off the authors whose books they've condensed. So I had 5 of those, fussy cut around them. Luckily, you know, it's easy, just a couple of ears to be aware of, and pretty simple haircuts. And then I used men in a variety of situations. So here's a guy on the phone with his kid. This guy's also on the phone, and you can tell the vintage of those by those phones. I think this is actually supposed to represent the White House, but you wouldn't know it. Press conference, who knows what's going on there. This guy's writing. This guy's frazzled. That's how many of us feel a lot of the time. This guy's reading the paper. This is just a meeting. And I love the look of this. And I'm beginning to wonder if this is my new style, my new take on doing masterboards. And Ruth, this is what I was talking about when I said I do them in books. So I'll show, just for the benefit of people who haven't seen this idea before. This is a book that's probably 11 by 8.5. So basically, what I have done in here is an idea that I first heard Gail Augustinelli talk about. And I know it wasn't her idea. She credited someone else. So basically doing masterboards in a bigger book. Can also take the time to back them with, you know, neutral paper. But when I look back at these, you know, this one is fairly busy. This is just different colored schematics of, you know, windows and balconies and fire escapes and stuff like that. And I love it. Haven't done anything more to it. This one I use stickers on, and it's busier. So for whatever that, you know, for whatever that's worth. This is a colorway that I've used, again, using Reader's Digest photos. And I suppose I could have maybe started a subcategory of couples, because occasionally they do let some women into the magazine, or to the book as well. More Reader's Digest, and so on and so on. I think I've shown this before, so I'm not going to belabor it. But I did want Ruth and other people to know that this is what I was talking about. Then when the time is ready, suppose I needed some ephemera that, you know, where these colors worked, or this style worked, I'd rip the page out, or I'd maybe back it first, rip the page out, and then cut it into whatever, pockets, tags, etc., etc. This one is, I don't know, not a favorite. Then I did one of the dictionary books. I think it was a little golden book. Got a couple of pages out of those. This is just all this sort of tealy green text and images, dates and borders and so on. And that's it in this one. But just to carry on a bit, another thing I handled was this beat up old Purity cookbook. I tore out all the color pages, but they have these kind of cool chapter headings. They have indexes, and they have tables, like, you know, baking temperatures or whatever. So that's kind of what I gathered up and was about to use. And I thought, well, maybe there'd be some value in showing you what I'm doing. Again, not rocket science whatsoever. I do know that sometimes, even when a viewer is just in that particular state, where you can't muster up much energy other than to sort of point your eyeballs at a screen, it's even therapeutic, I think, sometimes watching someone else do the gluing. So to save a wee bit of time, I began covering the page with some of the elements that I had torn out of that book. So again, tables, tables, index, a little text box there. Put down one of these things because I wanted this, I wish I knew what that edge is called again. I'm always struggling for the word. Oh, and the other thing I had done was cut out all these mason jars off. I don't even know. That's probably not real food. I think it was just an illustration. Certainly not identifiable as food. But I thought those orange tones would look cool with the blue. So those will be my focal points in a sense and would serve the same purpose as these guys' heads did. Now again, we know that there are as many styles and ways to do master boards as there are people doing them. So some are very, and I mean, I've done those too, very intense, very busy, very almost thick with, you know, with the layering that is being done. But I don't know. It's taking a while, but I think I'm discovering that that's maybe not where my head is. So I'm going to just hopefully start working. Stop talking, start working. Well, not stop talking. You know I don't like those videos where nobody's talking. So again, at this point, all I'm doing is covering up the book page. Now, I also noticed after I covered up this black dog here that this paper is kind of not doing the greatest job of covering stuff up, but perhaps that's not going to matter in the end by the time I put those jars down. And again, all I'm trying to do here is, because it's all the same color paper, like I didn't go to other cookbooks and tear out pages, I tried to keep some of the blue in the headings or, you know, headers and footers. I also am turning things on their sides or whatever so that, you know, that adds some texture and some difference. Oh, it's too bad I'm covering up those numbers. Maybe I don't want to put that there. How about if I put it here instead? You know, because I like the numbers, the column of numbers there, the page numbers. So I'll put something else there. I do have the cookbook right beside me in case I need to add something, a recipe. So far I haven't taken any recipes out of the book. Maybe I should add some of these blue elements and see. So I'm going to put appetizers here because that will fill some of the space. So I don't know. I guess I hope that, well, I always hope that you give videos a thumbs up and comment. And in the comments, I'd be interested to hear if doing master boards or other type of collage is an activity that you default to, that you reach out to when you're feeling kind of like you can't muster up the energy to do much more. Maybe I should use a bigger piece of this. You know, or what do you do? Do you fussy cut, or do you slow stitch, or do you watch soap operas and eat bonbons? I don't think so, but you could tell me if you do. No judgment here. Yeah, it's I'm kind of pleased with the changes I made here in my space so far. But let me tell you, it is tiring work. And I think a person almost has to be in the right frame of mind. But it also, I think, pays some dividends when, you know, all of a sudden it feels like, oh, there's more space. And where some of these words were really short, I cut them, you know, kind of, or tore them as small as I could. I thought I had fish here as well somewhere. I also have the pieces that I cut off in case I need a splash of color. So again, very, very simple design. And maybe, in a sense, kind of a challenge as well, in that, yes, some blue over here, in that, you know, if you throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at a collage, is that easier? Does that test your ability, your skill set, your creativity? Like, I don't know, I'm asking. I guess I feel that this is the more challenging, there's fish. The more challenging way to do this is to limit the number of elements. And I think there's a school of thought out there that sort of believes that the fewer tools we have at our disposal, the more, maybe I need to stick this in there, the more creative we have to be. I could put this across here. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. It just feels like something I'm compelled to do. And, you know, it's kind of interesting when some of these little, I don't know, preferences or quirks or whatever they are, sort of start revealing themselves. Now that's, oh, I should use one that's a bit longer. And then tear it down, of course. I was in this, this is Friday evening as I'm doing this, by the light of the silvery moon. Well, no, two desk lamps. I had to pick up some parts, some special order parts that came overnight from Vancouver to Edmonton, and then had to take the car to our friend's son has a mechanic, like a garage, a repair garage. So they don't have a waiting room. And in fact, one of the guys there that was talking to me, you know, I was kind of getting the bum's rush out the door. And I had taken along one of my uppercase books because I thought, you know, that's a good setting in which to spend some time with a book. There's really nothing else to do, although I suppose I could do some social media. But anyway, my plan was to, you know, drool on the book. And anyway, they don't have, you know, tight for space, don't have a comfortable waiting room or anything. So essentially they opened the door and said, look, if you walk that way, there's a Starbucks. And I thought, well, I'm not going to Starbucks. I'm not a coffee person, really. I do my 1 week flavored Keurig in the morning, and that's about it. But London Drugs was there. It's in that same area. So I went there, and, you know, when you've got time to kill, that's when you start to see all the things you haven't seen when you just kind of run in, run out. And so I was kind of pleasantly surprised. They had all their stash tea was on sale, so I bought a bunch for home, and I bought a bunch to take to my daughters because they don't drink tea, and you know, it's pretty slim pickings when I go there, and oh, I wouldn't mind a cup of tea, except there's nothing to choose from. So they're getting a bunch of boxes for their pantry as well. I think I better stick a jar down because I don't want any more blue right there. That looks like it needs to bleed off the edge of the page, so maybe we'll put that there. I'm just going to sort of dry fit this and see how it looks. Again, knowing that, you know, unless this paper isn't particularly heavy, but it would get heavier, of course, if I back it. So probably too heavy to be, let me put a little short fat one there. Probably too heavy to be a journal page. Or if I did this, yeah, isn't that just the artsy thing happening right before your very eyes? Yeah, let's do that and see what else might be needed. Yeah, so I spent time at London Drug, got some tea, found, you know, like Gertie, the French Bulldog, has quite the wardrobe, let me tell you. For a girl with such broad shoulders. Anyway, I don't know if I told you that one day I thrifted a bunch of little plastic hangers for human children, and gave them to my daughter rather than having her clothes, Gertie's clothes, all bunched up in a, you know, in a basket or whatever. Let's spread those things out. Let's put everything on a hanger and see just how big her wardrobe is. Well, I think we were all somewhat shocked. But it is, I mean, it's cute. It is cute. Anyway, so, and you know, kind of an enabler too. So I bought what they're billing as pajamas. It's like a buffalo check. I'm surprised it doesn't have little footies on them, but it doesn't. I probably have too many jars here, but you figure. Trying to separate, not that it would matter once this is cut up, but it almost seems more beautiful when the jars touch. And I guess if I had a jar left over, that wouldn't be the end of the world either, because this could become a little tag. So I think I'll glue these down and then see if I need to insert a bit more blue. Yeah, so I was just in the middle of sweet-talking the the woman at customer service to keeping my packages there. Because, you know, didn't want to schlep down the street with them. And then saw the text that the car was ready, so. And I thought I was a pretty good girl. I just stepped into 2 thrift shops. And, I don't know, didn't go overboard anywhere. So I thought that was good. And now I'm playing catch up again. I think this Purity cookbook, not this version, was one that we had to buy in grade 7 home ec. It's a little coil bound book. The thing is, you know, cookbooks tend to take a fair bit of abuse. So kind of these coil books with soft covers don't usually fare that well. So this one here that I've got, you know, who knows where the cover is. And of course, there's no date without those first few pages. Oh my goodness, look how old. Oh, here's a receipt. Could that be 79? Wow. That woman hasn't had a column in the journal for a long time. Anyway, let's keep going. So I'm I'm going to be paying attention to see if this is in fact my new way of doing masterboards. I mean, not that it is going to, it's just, I mean, it doesn't materially change anything, but insight is always good, I think. I hope you guys can see this. Yeah, pretty well. This book is a little bit bigger than, you know, than my desk allows for, but I think you get the idea. Yeah, I might have to dot a few more blue words around, which is probably breaking some sort of a rule. You know, focal points go last, not second. Oh, and the other thing I'm trying to do is actually use book blocks, text blocks for glue books, as a glue book, and use up some of the less desirable pages that way. Let me just move some of this over. See what else I have. I've got soups that's quite short a word. Poultry, soups, cakes, where it was a longer subheading, I kept that. Okie dokie. Looks like I will leave this last jar. Or the other thing I could do is cut it in half, put half here and put half over here. Maybe that's a plan. Where are my scissors? I'm also putting more of my, I can try to do it more or less down the middle. No, I'm going to offset it. I'm trying to use more of the wheeled carts and so on in the space, because I mean, I've had my husband add casters to different kinds of things that I've thrifted and I'm using in here, but like the carts that we all have, I have a few of those too, and so my tools are on a cart now as opposed to on my desk, which in theory, I guess should mean that I have a little more room to spread out on the desk. We'll see if that holds true. Okay, I'm going to put, I wish I could, I can't really go that way, so you're going to have to trust me. And then when I unwedge it from where it is, I'll show you how it turned out. But fish is going down here. Just let it touch ever so slightly. And I think I need something in this corner, maybe soup. I could also have maybe that seems a bit chintzy. Not chintzy, but sort of kitschy. Only that's pretty close. I could turn it this way, I suppose. Maybe we need a blast of color right there. I hope that you're well. Like I said, it's Friday, so it's going to be, I think, a fun, busy weekend for me as well, because even though I was in the city today, I'll be getting up early tomorrow to go again, because there's a 2-day antique sale. And I suppose I could have just a wee bit of something showing, like, again, you probably can't see that. Let me lift this up. You know, something like just a wee bit of that showing. Could do it at the top as well. Yeah, so that should be fun. I mean, we know that antique prices, whether it's antique stores or antique malls or antique shows like this, you kind of really have to keep your wits about you and, you know, not sell the farm, so to speak. Okay, I think I want to do something similar up here, but I don't want that white bit on there. Excuse me. Okay. Sometimes I let these guys that are pretty well almost torn off just either get torn off, or I repair them, or I glue them down at an angle. I don't know if I got anything on there, but we'll see. Okay. I think I'm going to call that done. What is this? Oh. I think I'm calling it done. I hope that this was a teeny bit informative or entertaining or whatever. Again, no rocket science happening here today. But let me just pick this up and show you. I quite like it. There seems to be a bit of a gap there, but again, it can always be fixed if necessary. Or do I need just a wee bit of blue text? I don't think I want to cover up that little jar. Whoa. That kind of went cockeyed, didn't it? Yeah, So I hope that you have a good weekend. I hope that you find some time to do something creative, do some crafting, do some thrifting, do some whatever makes your little heart go pitter-patter. I will remind you that on Thursday, April 11th, I'll be a guest seller on Angela's, the Traveling Crafters channel. And I continue to, I guess that's another thing I better do. I will do a bit of a preview teaser type thing and hope that, that I've been able to read your minds and figure out what it is that, that you may be interested in buying from me. So we will leave it at that. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I very much appreciate the new subscribers who have come along. I appreciate other channels who are like, I was watching some of Kim's videos today, and she did a shout out for me and for Jean Ryan. We're both, I guess, closing in on 1,000 subscribers, which of course is like sort of a benchmark almost. So look what I found. So yeah, all of those things help. I gotta glue that down. Heaven knows we can't put it in the garbage. Yeah, so there's never a dull moment around here. Isn't that just what was needed there? Oh dear, sometimes I just crack myself up. Whoopsie. Okay, now I'm really going. Okay, thanks. Good night. See you. Bye.